Welcome to my second 100 days of making comics, where I work every day on my comic, at least a half hour, usually much more because I'm really far behind on my book, A Night on Ghost Island. I actually worked on a lot of stuff, even though my last recording was on Thursday. I didn't have my... I don't remember how much of this I had done last week and how much of it I have done now, so... Alright, so I got all this done, and this done, this done, and this done. Okay, and so I might have to go back and repaint the one character, because, like, I planned on her being black from the beginning, but at first I wasn't, like, shading her, like, I wasn't making her any darker. I just sort of, you know, gave her some more, like, African-American features a little bit. The one page, for composition reasons, I decided she needed to be a little bit darker, and just to add some variety to the page. Basically looked like shit because it was too light. So I filled her in, but now, like, I'm starting to get, like, a little too dark, and that the bad thing about working with ink wash is you can't work your way back. So, anyways... I don't have a problem with her being dark. It's just, I just mean for consistency reasons. So I might actually just go back and just, like, make her darker throughout the whole book. So, which I normally wouldn't do because I don't like adding a step, but whatever. It'd be easier than trying to fix it in Photoshop on every single page, because she's one of the main characters. Like, she's, like, nothing in the book nothing would happen if she didn't exist, because she's the one that starts the conversation about Ghost. And anyways, I actually had time to myself last night, and I wasn't feeling uber creative. Right. Oh, and I don't know if I talked about this. So anyways, I wasn't feeling creative last week, so I went through my sketchbook. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the webcam, but I ruled out all my sheets, because that's something I do when I want to work, but I'm just not feeling the creative energy. I'll just rule sheets. I'll do, like, a stack of, like, 40 sheets, because I know when I get my little... like, I like to say that I'm creatively bipolar, because I go from these, like, stages where I, like, feel shitty that I'm not getting any work done, to just, like, knocking out, like, a ridiculous amount of art. So anyways, I ruled out sheets. I actually did 2 folders. I did 24 sheets, because I did 2 of these. It just ruled sheets. So that might be enough to carry me through the end of the book. It's gonna, because it's only an 80-page book, and I've got yeah, so I've got all that done. So anyways, last night, so I had kid free time. Oh, my dogs decided they need to go pee now, but they're gonna have to wait. Last night, oh my god, every time I record, it's because they can hear my voice, because I wake up in the morning thinking, oh, I'm gonna work while everybody's asleep, and I forget the dogs are asleep too. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up pretty quick. They're huskies. I don't know if you can hear them. But, anyway, so, I wasn't feeling super creative once I got my time free to myself, so I took my thumbnails that I showed you guys last time, and I started transferring it onto the sheets that I ruled out on... I don't remember if I did that last week or not. I ruled the sheets out, because I did that weird thing where I recorded on Thursday, so instead of Monday like I normally do. So I'm a little thrown off. Anyways, so I basically I did all the layouts, and so that made, even though these 2 pages did take forever last night, I don't know why that took so long. It just took a really long time for me to ink it, and I kind of fucked it up in places. But anyways, so last night I wasn't feeling super creative, and I actually did. They're not going to show up on my little camera, from what I can tell. But I've got the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, what is that? Like, the next 8 pages, I've got them roughed in. So, I'll tighten those pencils just a little bit more, and then I'll start hitting it with the ink wash. Yeah, like, I probably would have knocked out all 10 pages if I was just using a Sharpie on this comic. I probably would have knocked it all out. But the ink wash just took me forever last night. I don't know why. Sorry, pull a Marco Rubio here. Okay. And that's pretty much it. It did occur to me, doing a book that's aimed for young adults, one bad thing is if anybody searches me, okay, so I was talking about last time how in Mental it's really suggestive. The webcomic is actually worse. Like, I have a section in the webcomic where he's giving sex position advice. So yeah, that's kind of bad. The way I look at it is like Neil Gaiman's done children's books, okay? But if you read American Gods, there's this pretty descriptive sex scene in that book. You know, and I won't spoil it, but I'd almost go as far to say bestiality. So, but anyways, so it's really common for authors and and even celebrities. There's actors that have been on kids shows that have that have done racier stuff. For some reason, all I could think of is Tom Hanks in Polar Express, but then I could think of like nothing. Like, I mean, I guess you wouldn't want anybody watching Band of Brothers under a certain age because it's pretty gory. I've only seen a very small part of it. Anyways, so yeah, it's sort of a stigma in comics that comics are supposed to be for kids. So it's always like a concern with people, but I'm not really that worried about it because my one of the big things in Ghost Island that I'll be marketing when I try to get the book out is the I'm going to be going after the main character Sage is an atheist, and it's important to the plot of the book. Like, that's why Sage doesn't believe in ghosts, is because Sage doesn't believe in anything supernatural, including God. And so so like a lot of the parents that would be kind of worried that I did this other stuff and not want to buy the book for their kids, well, they're probably not going to want to buy this book for their kids either, because like I used to always say that I wasn't interested in kids until they're old enough to teach them things that they're not supposed to know, and this book sort of goes in because it has some sort of subversive themes in it because of the whole not only the atheist thing, but there's like well, actually some of the stuff might be coming up in other books, but there's like definitely philosophy in there, and like this is going to be it's geared in a way that way a kid can read it and just kind of go along with it and enjoy the story, but it'll be like if I pull it off, it'll be a book that someone can revisit as an adult and be like, oh, I didn't realize how this influenced my thinking on this. So yeah, it's gonna talk like I don't want to say philosophy, but yeah, it deals like a lot with like thinking about things. Like, I have a section in there where it well, like I said before, the pitch is sort of it's the Old Man in the Sea meets Goonies, and so some of the kind of like philosophical ideas behind the Old Man in the Sea are a little bit more front and present in this, or front and center. I don't know, front and present. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so it's not going to be like over the top, but it's going to be like a little more because Sage like likes to think about thinking, and so I don't know how developed the thoughts are going to be because I don't want to make it unrealistic. But because I thought about a lot of deeper things as a kid, and I have kids now, and I have smart kids. Like my one, he's only 10 and he fixed the Wii. Like the Wii was fucked, and he pulled the faceplate off and he did a bunch of stuff, and he's like, yeah. Anyways, he did more on it than I can do. So he's not, but I can see from having kids, I can see that most kids do not think about stuff the way I did, and it explains like why a lot of kids, why I didn't necessarily get along with a lot of kids when I was a kid. So and a lot of my friends would like kind of get annoyed with me. So I'm dumb in other ways. So I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that like when it comes to like, I was thinking about deeper shit at younger than most kids. So this video has gotten long, just like last one, because once I start rambling, it goes. So I'm just gonna wrap it up now. I think you got a pretty good idea of what I did this week, and that's sort of the point of this. So mission accomplished. See you next week.